Wait to worshipers, I know you've heard me talk about how I got into podcasting and how I use Anchor. But if you haven't heard it, I just can't stop bragging. So let me explain for you a little bit about the easiest way to make a podcast. If you have not heard, it's through Anchor. Anchor, man, it's free. Did y'all hear that? It's free. There's creation tools that allow you to record and edit your podcast right from your phone. Sometimes I use my computer, but for the most part, I do it right from my phone. Also, sometimes we're in the studio, so you never know. Anchor will distribute your podcast for you so it can be heard on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Play, many, many more. So, it's a great gig. Also, you can get paid from your podcast with no minimum listenership. It's everything you need to make a podcast in one place. So listen, just so you can be a part of what's going on in the podcast industry now, download the free Anchor app or go to anchor.fm to get started. And you can also check out Wait to Worship right there as well. We look forward to hearing you.
This is the GrownFolk Gospel Radio Show, and I'm your host, the Bishop, Greg Tichenor, and this is my co-host, the Lioness. What's going on, girl?
Hey y'all. Oh my gosh, Bishop. Every week just keeps getting better, but this week for Thanksgiving, it's just everything. I'll be quiet.
Yes. Well, let's show the trailer of 70 Years of Blackness, Verda Byrd story.
Let's go.
Glory to God.
I thought that I was black all my life, not knowing any difference.
If you look through the pictures of Verda Wagner Byrd's life in Newton, Kansas, it's a good one. She was the daughter of railroad porter Ray Wagner and his wife Edwina. Life was good.
Am I black or am I white? It doesn't matter to me because I'm not changing.
For 70 years, Verda thought she was African American, but she wasn't. She actually was white. Thank you for being here today. You have a very unique story. How did you find out that you were actually white?
Verda, this is just an extraordinary story. The sort of story that you'd read or watch in a film in Hollywood, you might read a book. It seems so extraordinary that you could have been brought up absolutely believing that you were black and then find out all those years later that your parents were biologically white.
I'm comfortable with being a black woman.
In the 1940s, it was the belief that the most successful adoptions would be those adoptions in which society did not know there had been an adoption.
Have I ever experienced a child being brought back because of the race? Yes.
I have had a beautiful black life.
Wow. This
I
is the
like
GrownFolk
that.
Gospel Radio Show. And my co-host Lioness, I'm Greg Tichenor Bishop, but we have Miss Verda Byrd. How are you doing today?
Pretty good. I'm in Newton, Kansas, where I was raised. On this trip, I have been to Kansas City, got down here to Newton, and it even snowed last night.
It sure did, didn't it?
Wow.
So you are in your birthplace. Where you were raised.
Yes. And I've been by the house that I grew up in. So I have several pictures of that to share with you all.
Oh, that's
Wow.
awesome. We can't wait to see them. Bishop, go ahead. Go ahead, dive in, Bishop. Go ahead,
Look,
dive in.
this is our Thanksgiving a special show, and you are so special that we wanted to share the world your story. So tell us about where you're from and how the story got started of your birth parents and the parents that you were given to.
I was born in Kansas City, Missouri, 80 years ago. I was placed in the foster children's home, and I was kept there for a while because my biological parents could not raise me. I was the fifth child of 10. So my sister before me, number 4, and me being number 5, we were left in the children's home and adopted. The black couple in Newton, Kansas, accepted me as their foster child to begin with, and they loved me so much they gave me a forever home. So I stayed there in Newton. I lived here in Newton, and from there I went to Denver, Colorado, and I married my husband 43 years ago, and I became an Air Force wife, and I've lived in Germany and Japan and San Antonio, Texas for the past 30 years.
So how long were you in the, and I love the 70 Years of Blackness. You guys, if you haven't seen that documentary, it is streaming on TUBI now. And oh my God, it's just fact filled. Like I'm taking notes, learning stuff that I didn't even know. I mean, there's so many things that I will tap into that. But you were your mother took you to what they called a maternity home back in those days, right? We're talking about the 40s.
My birth mother put me in a children's home first because she was married. There were a lot of young white girls that weren't married, and they were the ones that gave their babies up. Unwed mother home.
Unwed mothers. Okay. All right.
Yeah. But my mom, my birth mom, was legally married to my birth dad. The Beagles. My name was Danette Beagle. Yeah.
Danette Beagle.
Right.
So tell the backstory on your parents.
The birth parents.
Yes.
They were basically poor, financially poor. And in the early 40s, if you didn't have some kind of skill, then you didn't have very good income. And they didn't. They, I think, had the 7th grade education. Daddy Earl, I call him Daddy Earl. He had no skill. He went in the Army to try to help get financial stability for his kids. But that didn't last too long either, because for some kind of reason, he couldn't take orders. Yeah, and when you're poorly educated and don't have the finances, it's very hard to buy cloth diapers. Cloth diapers, even though you can wash them out and reuse them. But when you're poor and you've got 4 kids, to raise at one time, it's hard, very difficult. And so that seemed to be the issue that they had with the biological parents.
That's unbelievable.
Yeah.
And normally the dynamic is different. Normally it's the Black family, they have a lot of kids and they can't afford them. And so they, put the baby up for adoption. But that back here in this era, that was unheard of for a white family, one, to even give up their kids like that, right? But to even, the dynamics with the multicultural adoptions, like you were just in a very pivotal time for adoptions. And I think I heard you say something about the adoptions. They didn't have any Did you say they didn't have any rules? What were you saying about that?
In the state of Missouri, Kansas City, Missouri, adoption rules did not exist, because I researched what rules did Missouri have, and they didn't have any, because adoption was a new thing. It was a new thing. Yes, Black families had children, Black families had kids, but they would usually take them to their grandmothers. They would take them to their aunt's house. They'd keep it in the family. Whereas in my case, my birth mom and daddy wanted me to have a better life. So that was their choice to give and sign up their number 4 and number 5 child. That was their choice for the kids to have a better life.
So totally, how many children were there together?
There were 10. And I was number 5.
Wow. So tell us a little bit more about the unwed mother home, whatever that is. I've never heard of that. Can you tell us more about that?
Look at the documentary. Did you see the documentary?
And I did. And I did. And I was wondering, it was just like, it was kind of messed up to me that they did, the women who had mixed children ended up in this place. And it was like, what?
Well, what they did to the children, I haven't recouped from that.
This is crazy.
I'm not talking about that they were ugly people or they were ugly mothers, but oftentimes back in that era, the white families didn't want their daughter to have an illegitimate baby. In other words, they didn't want their daughter to be an unwed mother. Now single parents are common, but back then, to be a single mother and you're not married, oh my God, that was terrible.
And to be honest with you, there was still a stench coming into my era where to be a single mother was like, what? You did that out of wedlock? But nowadays they got daycares in the schools, like come on, be pregnant at 17, 6. Don't worry about it.
But that was society then.
Yeah.
Now, like I said, single parent, whether you're a single daddy or a single mama, you're there and you love your child. So the unwed mother thing and the baby scoop came after that, where they scooped up all the babies that were in the children's home.
Yeah.
But we don't have those facilities anymore. We have loving foster kid homes.
Yeah.
We have loving foster care families. Nowadays, they don't just put a child anywhere where they want to put them.
Right.
They have to be, the parent or the family has to be investigated thoroughly. And back then, they just put the kid anywhere to have a forever home.
And I love that dynamic because in your documentary, it talks about if you took this baby home for a couple of days and decided, I don't like this one, you can bring them back and get another one. Oh,
yeah.
I mean, that's like Walmart. I mean, you're taking the kid back to, I mean, really?
Really? I don't like
you take this one back. It's not nice enough for me. I mean, I just couldn't imagine that.
It's not the right color, not the right size. Say, give me another one. No, no, that was then. You try something like that now, they'll say you're abusing the child.
Ink has dried. Sorry.
Yeah.
So how did your family, your new family, your Black parents, how did they find you?
Well, my Black family lived here in Newton, and my father worked on the Santa Fe Railroad. And the Santa Fe Railroad in Newton was a hub to run different trains to Kansas City and to Oklahoma and to Western Kansas. So the Santa Fe trains we were a hub. So my adopted dad, Ray Wagner, was one of the Black train porters from Newton that ran basically to Oklahoma. But a lot of times he would have extra trips going to Kansas City. He and my mom, Edwina, they wanted a baby, and they didn't care who They weren't particular about the color of the baby, but Kansas City Children's Home had me out for adoption, and they found me and they loved me. That's how they got me.
I love it. And
Good.
I mean, you look at the pictures, you and your birth mother, your adopted mother, look a lot alike.
Right. My skin tone, she was light complected. So my skin tone, being a little white baby, fit her. So it didn't matter to her. It didn't matter to my Ray, my dad. They wanted a child. They wanted a baby. And my mother was not able to conceive children. They made enough money to adopt.
Wow. Because when I looked at the pictures, you do look like them. So I guess what do people say? If you feed them long enough, they start to look like you.
Right. But
now this is a whole nother feeding, though. We talking from white to black.
Neither one of you were living in the 40s. I don't know how old you are now, either one of you. But we have to remember that it didn't take much to live good back then.
Right.
You know, as a black man or a black woman, you probably didn't have a college education. You did or you didn't. But you know, a lot of them went in the military. The men worked on the Santa Fe. They started going in the military to make have a good income, and they married women. They did this, they did that to support their income to have a better life.
So tell us how growing up in a black family home, did they have any other kids, or did you feel any different?
I was an only child growing up here in Newton, Kansas. I didn't feel any different because the word race didn't even enter my mind. It's a very easy word, race, R-A-C-E. I did not reflect on that at all because there wasn't that many black people in Newton, Kansas to begin with. I got an article today to share with you, Nettie, from the paper. The percentage of the white population in Newton was maybe like 90%.
Whoa, so y'all was very few.
Yeah. Sunday, my husband and I went to the little church I grew up in here in Newton. We got pictures of it. And there was only 4 of us in the congregation. 2 of them were me and my husband. Wow. But the church is still open. You know, now back then we had at least 10 in the church. You know, now you only got 2.
Oh my God.
We digress.
Yeah. So when I grew up black, I was black in Newton, Kansas because my mom and dad were black. But the race thing didn't enter my mind. They only had one high school and they still do. And the population here of Newton is 80% white, very few blacks. So I really didn't notice.
No. That's good. And so, you know, as this story evolves for me, because every time I talk to you, something new, you know, it just goes, aha. And I think the thing that gets me the most is, one, this black family adopted a white baby and kept it a secret.
Yeah.
So my thing is this: did they just keep it a secret from you, or did they keep it a secret from everybody, like their friends, their family? You know, like, did you have aunties that knew?
My mom, my adopted mom, Edwina Wagner, here in Newton, Kansas, she did not want people to know her business. You know, like a lot of black families, I'm based it on blacks. We didn't want to tell our business. We didn't want nobody to know what we're doing across the street. You know, and she was very private like that. Yes, a couple of her friends knew she had adopted a white baby. They knew that. And as she got older, she told my daughter, your mom was white. Well, when I told my daughter, I found it, she said, well, I thought you knew. Well, Mama never told me. So how am I supposed to know? But, and I saw another lady yesterday. She said, we always thought you were white in the first place.
I know. I look at you and I see Verda. Okay.
Yeah.
I see the nose. I see the, you know. I'm like, wait a minute.
You're a black woman. When I look at you, a light-skinned black woman.
Well, you know, if you want me to be black, I'll be black. I have 70 years of blackness. I don't have a problem being black. But the paper said my original birth certificate, I have 2 birth certificates. My original one says I'm white. But when they changed my name at adoption time, then they made up a new birth certificate and I'm black there. So to me, it doesn't matter.
Glory to God.
This is the Mountain Moving Healthy Living segment with Natural Solutions. Let's talk about panic attacks. Panic attacks are a hard tissue problem. Basically, there's a lack of the 90 nutrients and an extreme calcium magnesium deficiency. So what do? Well, first of all, we supply you with the best calcium in the world with our Osteo FX, which is about 97% absorbable by the body. It has 77 plant minerals in it, calcium, magnesium, and other good things to help your body to rebuild itself. So when you feed your deficiency with nutrition, then you will fix the health challenge because your body will go to work. So we give you all 90 nutrients with extra calcium, and all of a sudden the panic attacks goes away. Now, also, we don't stop there. We also supply you with a video about the bad foods, the good and bad foods, and then we also send you a little snippet. This is a YouTube video. It's not very long. Each one of these are not very long, and we show you where to shop and what to buy so that you can get the best foods. As you have to change your diet, you have a responsibility as well. But once you take all the 90 nutrients, 77 plant minerals, 16 vitamins, 12 amino acids, and 3 fatty acids, this puts your body in a better place. But the great thing about it is it fixes a lot of other things that you're not even thinking about. And so you start feeling better in other areas of your being. So just give us a call at area code 317-709-8045. That's 317-709-8045. Or you can visit us on the web at www.stopsickness.info. That's www.stopsickness.info. And let us know you heard about us on this radio program.
Your story is historical. Let's start there. I know when you were going through your adoption, a lot of things changed for adoptions. From your documentary, it stated that whites were not permitted by law to adopt Black kids.
They weren't. The Association of Black Social Workers had a lot to do with that too.
Okay.
And depending on what state you were born in years ago, you know, the states have changed rules about many, many things.
Right. And you know what? And that's what makes this show so special, because you're talking about where you come from and about family. It's the Thanksgiving show. So tell out there in the audience and people that are listening about why this show is so special and about family for Thanksgiving.
The Thanksgiving message that I want people to understand from me is the Lord thought I was special. I was a survivor of adoption. I wasn't a victim. I'm a survivor. And when the Lord gives us tests, like tests in our lives, He wants to see how we're going to accept them or how to react to what He does for us. And being that He waited so late in my life to show me my roots, I thank Him for everything He's done for me in 80 years. I got 80 years of blackness now. So we're all special people, but we have special ways of showing our love to each other.
Yeah. And you know, I will say, Dr. Verda and Wagner Byrd, You are very special. You're very special to our community, the Black family. You are. I will never revoke your Black card, baby. You can keep it all day long.
Please don't, because I have to go to another camp and get another one.
But I will say that, man, it just goes to show that if God has a destiny and a plan for you, can't nothing stop it. Not even your birth parents, and not even your birth certificate, and not even your name. Right. The fact that God took you, gave you a better life. And I think after 70 to 80 years of Blackness, we can see that you absolutely did have a better outcome. You absolutely did have a better life, and it was God ordained. So I just thank you for being my good girlfriend.
Yeah, I got a lot of new friends. I call international friends, and that's okay, because we won the People's Choice Award from the African Film Festival. Mm-hmm. Now, I didn't get over there, and they didn't come to the United States, but they've heard the same message. We have to love and we have to respect whatever culture we're in.
Absolutely. How many film festivals, by the way, did 70 years?
I think my film director, young Black man from Jackson, Mississippi, we entered about 60 total, and I think we won about 50 awards.
Beautiful.
It got hot. I mean, it was going like wildfire. Yeah, because it was something new. Everybody likes to do films. Everybody has likes what they talk about. But when our 70 Years of Blackness hit the film festival, oh my God, I couldn't keep up with him. He was calling me every day, and I was calling him, "What? Oh, we won that. We won this one. We won that." Okay, slow down. Where are we at? But it hit big time, because it was something new, and everybody listened. Yeah, because we don't talk about love too much anymore. Well, we talk about everything else but love. How do we love ourselves first? How do we love our mom and daddy? We might not be the best children, or they might not be the best mom and daddy, but we still love them. They're still our parents, and we're still their children. So we're not throwaway babies anymore.
Not anymore. We will not even claim that.
No. Bishop, how you like all this?
Love it. I love your story. I mean, when I looked at the documentary, I was amazed by, about, how this came about and the adoption process back in the day and how they did children. It was just, I was very educated watching the documentary. So I can't wait till the movie comes out.
Yeah. 70 Years of Blackness is my brand, so they say, and I love it. From being where we are, from where I started in Newton, Kansas, now I have a scholarship program going, Dr. Verda Byrd Scholarship Project for young adults aging out of the foster care system. They don't have any skills. So my scholarship project is focusing on giving them a trade, teaching them how to cut their hair, teaching them how to do nails, teaching how to braid, how to make a living for themselves. That's what my new focus is on. And then with the new film project coming on, surprise.
Hey.
Yeah, so that's why I'm focusing on now.
Good. So how can the listeners, how can people get in touch with you? They want you to speak different places and stuff like that. How can they reach you?
Dr. Verda Byrd Scholarship Project at Gmail.
Okay.
And there's some other ways too. Facebook me, Google me.
Yeah.
VerdaByrd at hotmail.com.
All right.
All right.
How about that? I had a business card, but I don't know what happened to it. Oh, here's my book. Here's my book.
We keep, I'm like, I always turn around and go, she's an author too.
Yeah.
Man.
Yeah. This is a book, a lot of pictures in the book. Here's my dad when he worked on the railroad. Can you see him? Yeah.
Oh, wow.
That's my dad.
That kind of look like you.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Kind of do look like me, don't it? Huh.
Yeah. But this is my book. And if you want to contact me, I gave you contact information. But this is Verda Byrd at 70 Years of Blackness.
I'm going to go get that book ASAP.
I'm getting it too. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
They're $20 a book and they go to the scholarship fund.
Awesome. So even in that, you're giving back. I love you so much.
Yeah.
Man.
The documentary came from the book because people wanted the book. Okay, I'll do the book. And then people can, where can we buy it? Where can we see? You need to make a movie. You need to do this, do that. Well, then I came up with Chris in Jackson, Mississippi. He came up with me. And we did the documentary.
And now we have a new project coming up.
Yeah.
So we want to thank you for being on the GrownFolk Gospel Radio Show, Thanksgiving Special Edition. Ms. Verda Byrd, 70 Years of Blackness. Glory to God.
Check it out. Streaming now on TUBI. Go see it. Watch it with your family. Thanksgiving.
Happy Thanksgiving.
From the GrownFolk Gospel Radio Show. We love y'all.
Glory to God.